We then proceeded at that point into our simulated countdown.
Lunchtime, kids! All right!
Yum, 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 yum.
Hello, friends. It's lunchtime.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the new sound of the Lunch Break Show. I am Josh in the studio with Zach and Matt and Anna. We're here today, and you may notice a slight change in our demeanor.
Subdued,
yeah, relaxing, more inviting. We were shushed today, and when I say we, I don't mean as a group collectively shushed. Me personally,
right?
I was.
Oh, you drag us down.
I was shushed, and when I say shushed, I was just asked to not talk so loudly.
I'd say that amounts to a shushing, wouldn't you?
Yeah, so it wasn't like a shush. It was a please.
So everyone has that person in the office, and apparently that person is me. I am the loud one, and I've been told. See, I'm already getting excited. I've been told before.
Up a little bit?
Comments are getting excited too.
I've been told before how loud I am, and it's true.
You're a boisterous individual, Josh.
Yeah, and I know we share a common space, and I do appreciate, honestly, I appreciate someone feeling strongly enough to walk in here and be like, be quiet, Joshua.
It takes courage.
It does.
It really does.
It's not
it takes someone
to do.
Of
It's
great
confrontational.
poise.
To plant that flag.
Yeah.
To climb that hill.
Yeah.
So I don't know of a way around it, because I'll do really well today probably at being quiet, but it's gonna sneak back out.
First break, we'll check it out.
It'll happen.
And just, I haven't found the comments yet, but is this a show that people would want to tune into?
I think so.
This
So far, so good.
A nice, relaxing midday.
We can talk about
post-lunch.
what's going to be on the cafeteria menu today.
That's right.
I heard they're having apple fritters.
Apple fritters.
That sounds delicious.
Be still my heart.
Don't say.
I'm saying it. In all honesty, though, I do realize that office settings have loud people in them, and I hate the fact that loud person is me. I am going to try to be more respectful and keep the door closed. That may be a good alternative, because we are sharing a space with other people who are creative and designers, and they have to focus on different things. So maybe keeping the door closed. Maybe that'll be the answer to this problem.
Maybe.
Oh my God.
That'll be the answer to this problem.
She was not happy with us.
I got this cleared. I asked her if we could talk about it, and she said we could.
I mean, you have so much joy, Josh, that you want to share with the world, and I respect it. I do.
I can't be contained.
Yeah, you make people smile, and it's worth it. I think.
Either way, I'm aware that we were a little bit loud, and
we are a boisterous crew.
Yeah, and we often play music really loudly, and we have like antics that go on down here, as any radio station would.
It's a good thing we don't live stream. I almost wish we did live stream at like 4:55 on a Friday. Because like a couple Fridays ago, I don't know if it was last Friday, we had the lights in here cycling through disco style, and we were blasting Was it Miley Cyrus or something, or
no,
George
we would never
Strait,
be
or
blasting Miley Cyrus.
well,
No.
not with that attitude.
It was probably 90s R&B or
yeah,
90s,
I think it was 90s or Boys
Yeah.
to Men or
Yeah.
something. Oh yeah, just as loud as we could get it on every speaker we have. So to be fair, our neighbors put up with a lot. They do.
I have said in the past, I'm sure everyone in this, not just this office, but everyone in this building probably hates us at certain points. But you know
Sure.
what? That's what you get when you hire a bunch of people who
Yeah.
like to turn the speakers up loud and listen to themselves talk.
I would encourage. I'd encourage anybody who has an opinion about this. Please join us on the show. Let's talk about it. Why not? Right? I mean,
Yeah.
not right now, but like later. When we get
Later
to the
on,
bottom of
Yeah,
it.
but you're not allowed on now.
We're probably running out of steam on this one.
But there are reasons why at radio stations the studios are soundproof.
Sure.
Sure.
Because we're not known for being a quiet bunch. And again, that first part was in jest. We're not going to do a yoga style show. I can be quieter. I think I really was like yelling as if I was on the microphone, but as if I wasn't on the mic. I wanted you to hear me in the next wall.
Right.
So I probably could keep that down a smidge. I apologize
Look, we
to
have
our
things to
roommates.
say.
Yeah, and they're very
I don't
important.
apologize. I never apologize.
I'm not sorry.
It
Again,
comes
come
with a
at me,
package,
bro.
guys.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we have a great show today. I want to start off by talking about this story that Anna found.
Okay.
That a person thought that she had a perpetual runny nose.
Oh yeah, I saw this.
And I think it was like in North Carolina or South Carolina, one of the Carolinas.
Of course,
Yes,
it's one of the
somewhere in
Carolinas.
the States.
Yeah. Thought she had a perpetual runny nose. And kept going to the doctor. They go, know what? It's a runny nose. Gave him Z-Pack, all this different kind
For
of stuff.
2 years, everyone.
Thought she just had a really bad allergy for 2 years. Turns out she had gotten into a car wreck 2 years prior, and it had cracked part of her skull, and brain fluid. I repeat, brain fluid was leaking out of her face. Oh my goodness.
And we're talking about not just, just a light runny nose that's annoying. We're talking
Right.
about half a liter.
She lost a half a liter of
liter?
brain
A
fluid
day.
a day.
A day?
Now,
So I might as well walk with a bucket down your nose and just
God.
don't even bother.
Yeah.
Let it run.
just have a food trough that you attach to your ears that just catches.
oh God.
Because like I've had allergies. I've had a runny nose.
Yeah.
Not a half a liter of runny nose.
Okay. How much brain fluid does a body generate in a day? How close is
A
it
half a liter,
to
clearly.
what would come out of your nose, snot or otherwise?
Yeah.
And where does it go when you're done using it? Like,
It goes
I didn't know.
apparently-
I thought brain fluid was one of those things like you just have it, and like that's kind of where you're at. I
You're
didn't know
born
we
with
were
it.
just making more of it all the time.
Yeah, I didn't either. And again, surprisingly enough, I'm not a MD or a medical doctor, but I.
You don't say.
Yeah, I know. That's hard to believe. I thought the same thing that you thought. I
Yeah.
thought if you damage your brain fluid, you just die. But
Yeah,
apparently,
you get that old dry brain.
the old dry brain. Apparently, it's something that does like create itself over and over again, and you can just drip it out of your skull for 2 years and be fine.
That is
Right. Well,
chilling.
not really fine. She apparently had really strong migraines, and
You don't say.
can you imagine?
It's the old dry brain.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my god.
Oh God, that's just so like. At what point in time? At what point? Because that to me is like, I can understand the first time your doctor says, "No, it's probably just allergies," and you go, "Man,
Sure.
this is a really bad case of allergies." But 2 years? Okay, there's a point in time for me where I go, "Enough is enough." I remember when my wife and I had our first like condo in Dallas, and I had only when I was there. It wasn't like day right, but whenever I would be at the house like overnight, like getting ready to go to bed, I got really bad allergies. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't so I had to like sleep with my head propped up. It got to the point where I would get out of bed and like sit on the couch and try to sleep that way, just to like be able to breathe when I'm trying to sleep. And it got to the point where I forgot what it was like, and I thought in my head that I'd always had this forever. I forgot what it was like to go to bed and be able to breathe.
Right.
Because we couldn't figure it out. It wasn't like anything in the house. We would dust and vacuum, and I just thought, well, this is just going to be my life. Turns out there was black mold in the house, and the person who we were renting from thought they had corrected the problem by painting kills paint over it because
It kills it.
It kills it. Yeah. So
Wow.
the issue for me, but even then, it wasn't like I let this happen for like 2 years. Like something has to change. Either we have to move, or I have to go see a specialist, or whatever it was. But turns out that we got that actually professionally removed, and I was fine.
Yeah.
How do you get black mold out of your house professionally?
I don't. Some guy came in, like I'm sure, like scraped it.
Black
and, like,
magic.
Yeah.
And it works.
Some guy claimed he sprayed something, and
Yeah,
that was enough for
Right.
me.
he painted kills on it,
Yep.
and that took care of it. Yeah.
Whatever.
They just didn't do 2 coats. That was the problem.
Yeah, exactly.
Only the one. Only the one.
Only
coat.
one coat. You don't
This brain fluid thing, it reminds me of a story of like somebody like having some kind of like blockage in their ear, and then they go to the doctor and it's a bug. Or like one of those stories
yeah.
of somebody who like
Yeah.
had surgery and like a pair of scissors got left in them or something. It's like this morbid body horror stuff that some people like I think find fascinating. I'm just not that into it. It weirds me out in a way that I don't know.
I'm not into it.
No.
I'm not thinking, yeah, brain fluid, let's go.
Well, I mean, some people are like
Hook me
morbidly
up.
fascinated. There's a curiosity.
It's
there.
odd. Yeah, it's definitely bizarre. Like,
Not me.
I never would have thought.
I can leave it at the door. I think I go the rest of my life and not hear stories like that and be all right.
without that?
Sure. I don't
Yeah.
know. Is brain fluid leaking out of your nose? Like
Yeah, it's
2
disgusting.
years?
It's disgusting.
Stuff of nightmares, my friend.
Yeah. I'll take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to go to the video. The video that we talked about.
the exclusive.
The exclusive RNCN studio. Only video right here. Coming back next on the lunch break. Stick around. And welcome back. I can't tell you how excited I am. We talked about this briefly on Monday as a setup, as a teaser of what it is to come. Again, this is an RNCN exclusive. I've searched high and low for this video. I thought it was lost to the world. So here's what happened. We on Facebook, my ex-colleague Jim White over at KZPS had posted on his cell phone a recording of WFAA's interview with their new comic book guy.
Sure. Recording a screen with his phone.
Yeah.
Very guerrilla.
And it sounds like there is a passing of gas in this video.
Yeah.
Which, of course, I know this seems like it's beneath the RNCN crew.
It does,
and
obviously.
it is, but it's not beneath the lunch break show. Yeah, as a
We set a
company,
different standard
yeah,
here.
as a company,
Sure.
we are above bar and mature. The lunch break show, we're a little bit more childish. So I apologize in advance for the bathroom humor, but it seemed like this was more of a quest for me, and I have finally found the end of my quest. The video was recorded, and it sounded like there was breaking of wind, and then they posted it. And then people started commenting back and forth. The guy in question then commented on there and said it wasn't him, and then the debate started. People are analyzing audio sounds.
Yes.
It starts to build momentum, and then without explaining himself, Jim White just takes it down.
Yeah. The
Nice
heat got
guy.
too strong.
He got too strong. I think what I assume happened is Mark reached out to Jim and said, "Would you mind taking this down?" And Jim said yes.
So, briefly, let's make our claim. What did he say happened? What do we think happened?
So the full story, because to me the full story setup is what makes this an epic clip.
Oh, of course.
2001, entered the scene. This up-and-coming movie reviewer. He owns one of the biggest movie review sites here in Dallas. I think it's bigfanboy.com. A little plug there for him.
Sure.
He reviews films.
He will love the plug right now.
yeah, he's
all
more
the traffic.
Bigfanboy.com. He reviews films, and he's been doing this since 2001, and he's always kind of wanted to be the go-to guy in Dallas-Fort Worth for movie reviews. So pushes away, finally gets that call.
17 short years later.
17 years later of being one of the
Your
biggest.
ship comes in.
Yep, one of the biggest, battling with other rival movie companies. Him and another movie premiere people, they have like a whole beef. Battles through, rises to the top.
Building a dynasty.
Gets the call from WFAA, hey, come and be a reviewer of this film. First time to go in there and do it for WFAA, and sits down and allegedly breaks.
Well, we have the tape.
We have the tape. So let's go to the tape first.
Okay.
Good idea.
Let's go to the tape first. Here's a 20-second clip of the interaction.
Books like the Infinity Gauntlet comic book that this is based on, there's still plenty of things to come that we haven't quite seen it play out the way it's going to play out yet.
Yeah, figured Marvel would make the most of that when you make that much money.
Absolutely. Don't lose hope yet. There's still things that can happen.
Good to know.
Yeah.
It's Free Comic Book Day this coming weekend, so let's tell us about that. What is that all about? I like the word free.
So there you go.
Okay.
Oh,
the
tension.
The sound in the background was a low rumble. Was what people are saying was the breaking of the wind.
Yes.
So two-part for this. The one was the backstory and how the journey there, and then to have that happen.
Yeah.
It was a
You
Cinderella
bummed
story.
the guy.
Cinderella story, yeah. I've been a fan of like the rise and the stories kind of behind the scenes of this personality. Two things. One, if it was breaking wind, both of them phenomenal professionals.
Poker face
for
all the
locking
way.
it in.
Sure.
Yeah. I would not have been the same way. I would not have been the same way.
You would have jumped on that so fast.
Oh,
Excuse me,
gosh.
did you hear something? Sorry, it must have been an audio
I'm sorry,
issue.
what did you say?
Yeah, it would not have been the same thing. So in the comments, in Jim White's comments on KZPS, he said it was an audio problem. And I don't know what the audio problem could have been. I don't know how that would have worked.
I mean, look, we're all audio engineers here.
We are, and we've analyzed this clip several times.
Trust us.
Because we're professionals, we had to replay it endless times to
Look,
be
if
sure.
we're gonna break this on our show, we need to get it right.
Yeah. So two
We
things.
know what we're doing.
Sure.
Two things could have happened. That sound could have been two things. One, he has a beard. The beard could have brushed up against the microphone.
Do we see the lav?
The lob is actually right there.
Okay, so odds are
not the beard.
a little bit of a stretch for the beard.
Yeah, not the beard.
Sure.
Okay, so fabric.
Fabric
Potential.
Nope. Fabric is cloth. It's not going to make that big of a difference. So we were looking at the chair. Because the chair could have, if it was a leather chair, the movement, but you got cloth
It's happened
seats.
to the best of us. Yeah,
Yeah.
leather.
Yeah.
Sit down in a leather
Sure.
chair, and then
Sure.
you spend the rest of the day trying to recreate that sound just to prove that it wasn't you.
Yeah. So leather
That's
chair.
why we were being loud.
Yep.
That's why.
Yeah.
And the last one could have been is the repositioning. You'll reposition, and a movement can make a sound.
Yeah.
But if we play that back, there's just the shorter clip.
Yeah.
You'll notice no one moves.
Here we go.
Good to know. It's Free Comic Book Day.
He doesn't move.
Let's hear that again.
There's no
Yep.
movement.
Good to know. It's Free Comic Book Day.
So no
Oh my
movement,
God.
no sound, no rustling,
No facial break.
no
in
facial
either
break.
party.
No.
You'll notice at the end of that mystery sound, his face does move a little bit.
Does it?
Let's see.
Please.
Good to know. It's Free Comic Book Day.
It's like he
He's
closes his mouth. When I zoomed in, he closes his mouth.
Yeah.
Which to me, the opposite would have happened. The mouth would have opened up in shock, and I'm like, oh my gosh. But so I don't know.
I think we cracked this. I don't know why the Warren Commission didn't have us working on the Zapruder film, because we've got this one in the bag.
I'm looking to see if anyone has commented on Facebook.
That was a very graceful.
I think people are laying out on Facebook on this one.
That was a very graceful throwback to the assassination of a president in comparison to this man on WFAA.
Both things happened in Dallas.
It's true. It's true. I appreciate that we've made such a production of this. I would like to.
Hey.
It's been days in the making. I remember when you got this footage, we were so excited to watch it.
I was trying to find it, and that was part of it. That was part of the quest, because I wanted to see the film again, because I wanted to tell people, hey, you guys were arguing about this. I have the proof. I had the thing, and I forgot we work for a PR firm where we pull video clips.
Sure. So we have the ability to get this.
It was actually super easy to do. The whole 4 or 5 days I spent trying to get it. Here's my thing from an angle.
It's free comic book day.
From an angle of how to handle it. Okay. I think he went about it wrong.
So you're saying he did it, and his landing after the incident was incorrect.
I think no matter what.
Yeah.
So this happened. There's no easy way to explain it.
Sure.
So no one's gonna outright believe you.
And look, it happens.
It happens.
Amanda in the comment makes the point. Everybody does it.
Everyone does it.
We all do it.
It happens.
It happens.
So there's 2 things you could have done, and he chose the worst third option.
Okay.
There's 2 things in that, which is 1, just lay low, not comment back, not say anything, just let it go.
Yeah.
And it'll die out. It'll fizzle. I'll never see it, and it just goes away.
Yeah.
The other one is to own it and be like, yep, you know what? It happens.
It happened.
I was nervous. I feel so embarrassed. LOL. I'll get them next time. And then just own it and be good and run with it.
Right.
Fine.
Make some shirts. Make some shirts.
Yeah, rake in that sweet YouTube money.
Yeah, both of those options are positive options. The third option is the worst option, which is to go on and attack other people. He called Jim White, which is one of the more lovable characters in Dallas-Fort Worth radio, a crazy old man.
Yeah.
Saying, oh, this is this crazy old guy. It's obviously doctored. So he thought that Jim had doctored audio on his phone, which Jim doesn't know how to use social media. He posted and then shared his own post.
He does work in audio production, but yes.
But Jim doesn't. Right. His producers do.
That's a good point.
Again, so it's like you attack someone, put your name out there, and then make it a controversy. You start this little fire of now it's debate. It's Jim's people versus your people, and they're arguing online, just continuing this narrative for a lot longer than you actually had to have it go on for.
Yeah. I think everybody in here would probably agree. We probably would have gone with option 2, right? Door number 2.
Yeah.
Just own it.
Yep.
Because
even if I didn't do it, I would still own it, because no one's going to believe me otherwise.
Just throw it. That's hilarious on that and let it go.
And let
LOL.
it go. Yeah, LOL.
Yes.
Be that guy. Let it run, and just be fine with it. But
you know what I think? These guys should come over here and have some marketing course on how to deal with.
Yeah, can we get him
There
on?
we go.
Maybe we could.
I don't know.
How do you manage
reach
a
out to him.
situation
Yeah.
like that?
I bet
That's
we can get
what
him on the
we're
show.
here for.
Yeah.
That would be
Listen, buddy,
hilarious.
let me explain how to let this slide.
Because the truth is, I guess it depends on how your personality goes by. How do you deal with things in a normal kind of situation? Because if you feel, this guy clearly was all pumped up to be in the show. So
Sure.
for him, this was his great
puffed
break.
up.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I guess maybe he's just wanted it to be perfect and he cannot let it go. But, buddy, there's an opportunity there.
Yeah. I would have had shirts made up that I would have worn the next time out.
Yeah.
And it's been like, hey, I'm owning
I'm
this.
the fart guy.
Yeah, it's gonna be a hashtag for all my reviews.
Yeah.
I would have owned it.
Yeah.
The only thing that we didn't do, I think, that would have totally proven this is gone into our green room with a cloth chair and have someone be lobbed up and try to recreate it.
Yeah.
That's the only thing we didn't try. And who knows? Friday
And that was
Day
something
show,
that we heard from somebody, is that if it were, that would have had to have been pretty powerful to be picked up
Yes.
by the lav mic
yeah.
in that situation.
So
Beans for lunch, testing all afternoon.
It's that perfect compression that I'd argue it's not doctored, because it sounds like something a mic would pick up through clothes. It sounds perfect.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like a computer would make that sound.
So
Let's hear it again. Let me see if I can get it here.
Oh, please. Oh, you
Yeah,
teased me, and
absolutely.
then you...
I'm sorry. I apologize.
Get it.
Good to know.
Yeah.
It's free comic book day.
Sorry. And again, I want to apologize to our viewership out there who has come to expect much better of us.
Expect more from us.
We have let you down tremendously.
If I'm being honest, this is we're at our peak live viewers right now, so I don't think anybody expects any more of us than this.
We are delivering. When we come back, we have the next ridiculous student teen challenge that's going on, and we're going to call in with a social media expert about the new deodorant challenge. Coming up next on the lunch break.
Good to know. It's free comic book day.
Love it.
Nice. I like that the takeaway from that last bit wasn't any debate about whether it was or whether it wasn't. It was the sidebar comments about our very own Zach. Tanya comments and says that Zach looks like he could be the son of 80s James Spader. And then Rachel says that he has Stephen Fry brows.
All right, I got a couple of comments here. When I was in college, people said I looked a lot like Jason Segel.
I can see that.
People would say,
I can see that.
I don't know, something that people would say is my mannerisms. It's the way I think I've aged out of that a little bit because the biggest critique I've gotten, especially when I wear glasses to work, is that I look like James Spader or Robert California. And I don't know how I feel about that. 80s James Spader, dude, I'll take 80s James Spader. He's a sharp dressed man. He's a good look. He was a rapscallion in John Hughes films. Who doesn't love 80s James Spader? A rogue, a puckish individual. Stephen Fry brows. I guess that's a compliment. I'll take that.
If you like Stephen Fry, then why not? But Stephen Fry, they're very expressive.
I was gonna say what am I getting at there?
See if we can find a photo of Stephen Fry's
and James
eyebrows.
Spader, please.
Should I just search Stephen?
If you don't mind,
Fry's eyebrows?
I'd appreciate it. Can we get a side by side or something?
I
don't
want hot 80s James Spader, but just hopefully the bushiest Stephen Fry eyebrow.
All right, that's.
I don't think you have a bushy eyebrow.
I don't think so, but I would argue it might run in the family. I think there's some higher ups in the Lewis hierarchy that have some relatively. I got some eyebrows, man. So that's something I got to watch out for. It freaks me out. All right, I'm self-conscious about it. So yeah, but I do like Stephen Fry.
While we're working on that, I'm going to go ahead and set up our next break. We're talking about the new deodorant challenge. We're gonna have a Skype call with a guest who's a social media expert.
Does this do anything for you?
Oh yeah.
Okay, I can kind of see that.
Yeah, spot on.
Sure.
Yeah.
Stephen Fry eyebrows.
From all the things,
not the face.
Give us a little eyebrow lift.
Yeah,
give us a little eyebrow lift here.
Eyebrows. Yeah.
After this photo side by side.
I know. Yeah. I'm not going to be looking in the mirror at like 2 a.m. tomorrow morning, like just looking at my eyebrows. That's not going to freak me out. It's fine.
All right.
Anyway,
So this new thing. So we've heard about kids in the past doing like the Tide Pod challenge, where apparently you eat detergent.
So smart.
Yeah.
So I mean, they look delicious. So why wouldn't?
Right.
There's different things that kids are doing. The newest one is the deodorant challenge, which I think for most like 13-year-old boys, it's getting them to use it. Actually, is the challenge.
well, use the right amount of it. I think. Yeah.
So apparently,
Yeah, it's either too much or too little.
exactly.
Right?
It's
Yeah.
either too much or not enough.
Yeah. So apparently, there's a thing now where and I'm guessing it's Axe body spray, but whatever spray-on detergent that you use,
Sure.
or deodorant that you use, you just hold it as close to your skin as possible, and you spray for as long as you can hold it, can last. And I would imagine
think I have
it's
some
freezing
pictures
cold because it's
of-
an aairosol,
Should
right?
we cut to those?
I mean, I've got this.
I mean, I think-
okay.
yeah.
All right. That's
It's
That's
a little
graphic.
gnarly.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a Cronenberg film. Good
that's
lord.
that's a second-degree burn. So I guess that's what it is. It's the freezing cold air coming out of the deodorant that's like penetrating and burning your skin.
And it has
Gotcha.
chemicals on it, so
Well, yeah,
like it has alcohol in it, right? As well, I
Yeah.
guess.
I would imagine. I have no idea.
I think so. Yeah. So
I
that
don't-
you
I
got
don't
that,
use-
and then the chemicals work their way into your
So that was the disgusting part for me. Do we have our Skype
We
guest
do.
up? Sarah, are you there?
Hold on.
Josh, can you guys hear me?
Yes. How's it
Yeah.
going, Sarah?
Hey, going well.
So have you seen the photo of the second-degree burn caused by the deodorant challenge?
Josh, guys, this is horrifying. Yes, I've seen the pictures. It actually makes my stomach hurt to think as a mother that children are doing this. They are it sounds like this is I've got two sides of this. So I'm seeing this from a mother perspective where they are spraying, the mother is sharing pictures of her child to just sound the alarm that her child, a 10-year-old, sprayed her own skin causing frostbite with this aerosol deodorant spray.
Yeah.
Which is absolutely horrifying. And so to be able to see the pictures, I'm just shocked. I mean, that kids are doing this. Here we are, another challenge. So yes, I've seen the pictures, and it looks like burns. They're just terrible.
So the reason why I wanted to ask your opinion is because I know you're very socially active. You do a lot of Instagram, a lot of Facebook Live, a lot of Insta stories, and you can go to your social media feed and you get a good sense of what you do day in and day out. And you also are the proud mother of an 8-year-old who's getting into those, curious 10-year-old, 11-year-old, 12-year-old years. How do you talk to your kids about protecting yourself?
So I think that that's the point of this. Mother is sharing what's going on with her daughter.
Mm-hmm.
For one parents, we're going through something with our kids entering those years, and for her to be very vocal about, here's what my child's doing, please share this with your children. This is serious matter. I think it is important to share what's happening in our world and to protect them and to raise the awareness and to be more just active in their lives and seeing what they're doing. If they're doing these kind of challenges and sharing them on social media, I mean, with this one, this is the mother sharing what her child has done.
Yeah.
To, really get it out there with, kids are doing this. What do we do, guys? So on one hand, Caleb's a little young. I mean, he's 8, but then there's young kids that are, what are your kids doing recess on the playground? Always have that conversation with your child of, what's happening? What are kids doing? What are they thinking that's cool, that's not cool? Their brains just aren't developed yet. They don't really understand other than that peer pressure and what other kids are doing. So as a mom, gosh, I definitely am worried every time one of these challenges comes up in the internet. I'm very very concerned to see that kids are doing this and that parents just don't know what to do. But I think, what this mom is doing is she's encouraging to share these pictures with your children and show what happens.
And also, you being online, I think it's important for parents to understand the trends and be aware of what their kids are doing beforehand, and kind of can also have that conversation ideally before they hear about the trend, or kind of either keep monitoring their usage or then just being aware of that and having that conversation beforehand, right?
Absolutely. And it's one of those things where it's like, since they are sharing these, this is kind of on the forefront of our minds, but what is not being shared also. So, I think it does a constant reminder that there's scary situations that kids are putting themselves into that parents just may not know about. So I think to have moms out there that are being vocal and sharing what is happening in their children's lives to raise awareness is important. And, that goes down a whole other path of kids and peer pressure and cyberbullying. And, social media can be great to share what we're doing online and be, friendly with our family. And here's, Caleb and his pictures, here's us as a family. But what's really going on behind the scenes with some of these kids that are sharing their own social media pictures and crazy challenges that come up can be really scary what they're sharing among their peers. So as a mom, I don't know when I'll let Caleb do his own social media pages or so on and so forth. But I know that's coming. He loves to be active on my social media page, and it's a lot of fun. So we use it as a fun tool to be able to communicate with family members and friends and, what's going on in our day. But gosh, I mean, with this challenge coming up with these kids that are Tide Pod Challenge, it's just so concerning.
Yep.
So that's the ugly side of social media, that it's like, wow, what are other kids doing that, they're trying to share and look cool. It's just a completely different perspective that is very alarming as a mom.
Yeah, I think it's the social media part of it that makes it just so dangerous, because I think back to when I was a kid in the 80s and we would do dumb stuff. Like we would stand across from each other and throw rocks at each other and see how long we could take it. See which one could, who could survive the rock throwing challenge long enough.
What would your mother think if you were posting that on social media?
Well, exactly. Yeah, like that extends to me and my dumb friends, right? That's the extent of that influence is, hey, we're going to stand around and we're going to throw rocks at each other. We're going to jump out of trees, or we're going to hit each other with sticks that we find in the woods. But yeah, if it were I've made it this far, folks.
Yeah.
If social media were around and we were then sharing that and getting thousands and thousands of likes, I mean, would we go out and do it every single day? Would we do crazier and crazier stuff? I think that's social media becomes a stand-in for love and attention for kids who, maybe aren't getting it elsewhere, or maybe just, need more of it.
Yeah. Sarah, I thank you so much for the call. I know you got a lot of things going on today. Thank you for taking the time out to talk to us here.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for having me on.
So here's my question.
Yeah.
And like my takeaway from this is, I have a child of one. I have a lot of time to worry and to think about these kinds of shenanigans. I'm just like you, Matt. I know that we had like cow patty fights where we would throw like cow manure at each other.
Yeah.
Well, no. Yes, Anna.
What?
Yeah, it's weird. You would have, like in high school, you had the salt and ice challenge. You had different things.
The cinnamon challenge.
Yeah, here's like, and I did those things because I wasn't in the same mind frame now. How mad I would be if our son came to me when he was 13 years old with a third or second degree burn on his arm because he sprayed aerosol deodorant at an inch away for 35 seconds.
Right. Those cans are $3.99 a pop.
No, not just that, but I'd be like, your mom didn't hold you in her womb, protecting you, worried about everything she ate, everything that where she was, like second degree smoke, every car ride, like worry and stress for 9 months just to get you out into the world, and then worry about you 10 times more. Every plug, every outlet, everything's gated and put away, every pillowcase, everything is methodically thought through for your ultimate protection. And the first moment, the first chance you have, you grab Axe body spray and hold it to your arm and squeeze. You buffoon.
I mean, but that can be said to anything kids do ever, right? Like when I was a kid, it was like the first time I really remember actually genuinely hurting myself. I was standing in my parents' kitchen and there was a pan that they were cooking something on. And I was like, can I have something out of that? And they said, no, you're going to burn yourself. And I did it anyway when they weren't looking, and I still have the scar. I'll never forget that moment. Like, you have to.
Oh, I stuck.
It's something human about pushing that boundary and seeing how far you can go.
Yeah,
it's a thing.
You know the old car cigarette lighters, right? Where
Sure.
you push the cigarette and it would heat up the little metal coil.
Oh, yeah.
I stuck one of those on the end of my finger just to see what would happen. Guess what? It burned me.
Yeah.
It hurt really bad.
And you learn something, right?
Sure, absolutely.
I mean, this is what this is. Like, I think we're at a point in culture where like that's where you have to find the line. And in the age of social media, we have to know how far we can go for a like, for a retweet. What concerns me, just like any tragedy, I guess, nowadays, is the way this stuff is publicized. The way that every local news station in America is now talking about the deodorant challenge.
Sure.
What does that do?
Yeah, I guess it's a double-edged sword because, like Sarah was saying, the mom who shared it was doing so in order to say, hey, pay attention to what your kids are doing. Here's something that's going around that my kids are doing.
Right.
Or my kid did. And so it's informational. But at the same time, when you start to cover it and when you start to say, hey, the deodorant challenge, and it gets a label and all this stuff like that, beyond simply sharing it around with your friends on school or sharing it on any sort of social media, it becomes, now it's being shared in the actual media, and it becomes a whole new thing. And so like it breeds a whole new life of its own. So yeah, there's the good part of it where you're informing people, but then there's the bad part of it where now there's a bunch of stories about the deodorant challenge, and it's one more thing.
Congrats, Mom, you helped your daughter go viral. Well done.
Yeah,
you know, like
that's
not exactly a punishment. That's arguably a reward. Like you helped it. You helped it get more attention. There's potential for more kids to get hurt from something like this. That's a dangerous thing, you know.
Yeah.
And I feel like Josh, you want to jump in with something.
Oh no, I was going to jump in on that.
No.
on like mom shaming.
No, it's not. Excuse me for explicitly calling out one mom. Yeah, I apologize.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
No. I think that like when you're in that situation, I understand what you're saying. Like bring light to it, therefore expands it and causes more of a problem.
You're idolizing it. You're glorifying it.
I know a lot of those times, and I say I know because my wife tells me that on like the Facebook mom blog things. Which, by the way, why isn't there a dad blog like where dads can go and
Start
have
one.
chats? I would, but
what would that even be?
I don't know.
What would that even
It's
be?
the same reasons.
Just shenanigans. Anyway, the Facebook where like moms will post like pictures of a rash or hey, my kid's doing this. Like I need like a support group, and so that may have been a like hey, my kid did this. Like be careful. Like watch what your kids are doing.
Yeah.
If they have access to deodorant, be sure and like keep a check on it. Who knows how that whole thing panned out. But it's one of those deals. And again, maybe us talking about it here on the show then could make it that much more worse.
I mean, it's telling that, media picks up on this because it is inherently entertaining. We're interested in it.
Yeah.
Kids pick up on that. It's the reason they do it. It's because it's like, well, people will like and comment on this and it'll go somewhere.
Yeah.
And when they see adults reflecting that in news headlines, like, well, then why wouldn't they do it? I get it. Shoot. I wouldn't do it myself, but I guess that's where I was starting to get to.
On Friday, the deodorant challenge. The lunch break takes the deodorant
I do the
challenge.
salt and ice thing. I never did that.
Salt and ice?
Yeah.
You just put ice on your... Oh, never mind. No. I'm not telling... Nice try, kids. Nice try.
Rats, foiled again.
Coming up next, we're going to talk about a new museum in Paris that Anna found in
Also, we should do the Google AI story since
we have that.
We're coming up at
that
the
too.
end.
Yeah,
Okay.
we have both of those back to back. Google AI.
Sorry, I apologize. I didn't mean to blow the tease.
Yeah, you ruined it. Now we're gonna have to go break and sulk for.
I'm
for
sorry.
A bit.
I should be shushed. He always had he was one of these people that always had just people over. People were just always at that house for whatever reason. They were in a band, kind of you could hear them playing in a band. So
yeah,
they were always kind of doing that, and they were just people squatting, just hanging out,
just random cars
just
parked outside the house.
Exactly, just at all times of the day.
Yeah,
there was you never knew who actually lived there.
Was this guy running a small business out of his house? Because that's
well, I think he might have been.
That's what I'm thinking.
He might have been an entrepreneur.
Yeah,
herbal supplements. Is what he was doing.
Just a theory.
A small businessman. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. But they would at 2 a.m. they would get out there and have Fight Club, which is basically they're out there with their shirts off, punching each other.
Oh, great.
For fun.
Are you serious?
Absolutely. Oh
my God.
And so you just hear, and the guy's yelling and this stuff going on in the middle of the night. And you're like, what is that? And it's just like a scuffle going on. And they're not mad at each other. They're not out there, hashing out disagreements. Sure. They're out there just, bare knuckle boxing each other. And multiple times we're like, yeah, Wolfgang's doing the Fight Club again.
Fight night.
Did I miss his name is Wolfgang?
Wolfgang, absolutely.
That is awesome. This guy, I know, annoying for you.
Yeah, sure.
A hero to me.
Yeah.
And we're back. Sorry, I know we're having some technical problems bouncing back and forth. We're going to get those worked on. So before we get into the museum that Anna found fascinating, we have another story about Google AI.
Yes.
Google AI.
So this is one of the things that Matt found. That is this a new product? Is there can you turn off your callback mic in there?
Oh, I apologize.
No problem. There's a new thing that Google is doing.
Yeah, they debuted this at a conference. I think yesterday, I believe it was.
Yeah.
And this was a new function of. I'm not sure if it's quite rolled out yet. I don't think it has.
But it's coming.
Yeah, it's coming. It's a new function of their Google Assistant, which is you tell it what you want it to do. So you want to book a reservation.
Okay.
Order
a pizza. Can you do that?
Yeah, I imagine.
Ooh.
Yeah, they did have it call a Chinese restaurant. Book a hair appointment, which is what the video we're about to see.
Okay.
You tell it, hey, I'd like to get a hair appointment for this service around this time.
So here's the part where that AI is really good at doing one thing, but it's hard. The hard part is you don't know who's going to answer the phone, the accent they're going to have, the questions they're going to ask. So being able to respond to the questions and still sound human.
Right. So there's a famous thing called the Turing Test, which is if an AI can fool a actual live human into thinking that they're a human. Yeah. And so a lot of people are looking at this and saying, did they just do it? Because, yeah, you're basically input this information into Google Assistant, then it goes out while you're off doing something else, makes this phone call, which, you could be on hold for 30 minutes. You could be, it could be anything. And makes this phone call, books the reservation or orders the food, and then comes back and tells you, okay, it's done. And Google has gone out and they've, been surreptitiously recording themselves calling different places and trying out this AI, and they debuted that yesterday. So this up on stream, and let's take a look at what happened.
So how can I help you? Hi, I'm calling to book a women's haircut for a client. I'm looking for something on May 3rd.
Sure, give me 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
Sure, what time are you looking for around?
At 12 p.m.
We do not have a 12 p.m. available. The closest we have to that is a 1:15.
Do you have anything between 10 a.m. and 12 p.m.?
Depending on what service she would like. What service is she looking for?
Just a woman's haircut for now.
Okay, we have a 10 o'clock.
10 a.m. is fine.
Okay, what's her first name?
The first name is Lisa.
Okay, perfect. So I will see Lisa at 10 o'clock on May 3rd.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Great. Have a great day. Bye.
I am oddly weirded out by that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it does not make me feel good.
Oh, it makes me feel great.
I think it's important to ask first. Does any of you use Alexa?
No.
No, I do not. No.
All right, I do.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that makes a difference. If you have used an assistant before, you're like, well, yeah, that kind of makes sense because it actually learns as you, as a user, it will learn as you use it.
Sure.
So it will actually start using your mannerisms and stuff. It's weird. And
but like,
that's why the and stuff like that, it just felt like it would be the person saying that. And the more you talk to Alexa and the virtual assistant, so Google AI, it will learn from the way you speak and kind of mirror that back.
Yeah. You're not falling for this, John.
It is. It is weird.
Nope. Nope.
Yeah, that's the thing that's like makes it that much more convincing because it's going,
Yep.
You know, it's throwing that in. It's going,
Right.
yeah. It has the cadence of someone who's talking. There are a couple points in there where you can hear what sounds like canned speech, like when it says 12 p.m.
Yeah.
But if all the rest of it is so convincing, then yeah, I mean the person on the other end of the phone has no idea. It threw a bunch of different questions at it, and it was able to answer them all correctly.
What is concerning about this to you? There's a couple things, I'm sure, but I mean, just give me a.
For me, it's okay. So now this is like, because that's just the tip of the iceberg. Like, oh no, it's gonna start off by doing, because then okay, so now I don't know. It's just weird.
Are you worried about every interaction, wondering if the other person is an AI?
I don't like. I have a hard time having this conversation because I sound old and like crotchety and like dumb but I don't like when machines learn from us and can adapt. I don't mind using machines to do a function, but when they can function with me, that worries me. It just like I just don't. I'm unsure. I'm unsure of the future of that.
Right.
Yeah.
The future of, there's a button you can press and order pizza on the Xbox from Pizza Hut. There's like a thing that they worked out.
Sure.
And you do it and it orders your pizza. I get that. I get how that works.
Please.
Yeah, but all of a sudden when I'm like, order food, like, a pizza again, Josh? Like, all right. I don't want my Xbox to judge me.
Third time this week?
Yeah, really? Remember the doctor said, all right.
Is the wife out of town?
Are you lonely again? Talk about your feelings. Don't eat them. Like, oh, come on. So I just
just order a medium.
Yeah, I just don't know where the future. As if first
Orders your
my
small
natural
veggie.
order is a large. Yeah,
Of course. Why wouldn't it be? You always order a large. It's the best value. You can save whatever you don't eat.
Touche.
I'm of the mind, like Amanda in the comments. I welcome our machine overlords. Just like when we talked about your Roomba potentially scanning your apartment and learning the layout of your stuff. Like, I am convinced we're doomed. Right? It's very nihilistic, I know, but like, it's like the fall of Rome. Like, we grow too big for ourselves. At some point, technology will embrace everything, right? And we will find ourselves maybe a little bit out of control. My mindset is just lean into it. Just enjoy it. Are you kidding me?
let it go.
I don't have to call a barber again, and I can have something do it for me. That is brilliant. Like, sign me up. Yes, where can I get started?
What's going to be really creepy is I think the important thing that this one does right now is it says, I'm calling on behalf of whomever. But the moment where it can learn your speech and then mimic you as if you're the one calling and making the reservation, that's when it becomes really creepy.
I love it.
Like, call parents.
Yeah.
Have conversation with my parents.
Oh my god.
Just set the phone down and be like, all right, tell me what you talked about at the end of it.
I love it. I can't get enough of it. And I mean, just the social implications of where this could lead. Imagine if you get a call from like a client, right, to schedule a meeting with you, and you figure out it's their AI. How insulted would you be? You can't call me with you, like you can't take the time.
Busy person.
You know, there's going to be people like, well, not people a lot smarter than me, who find out like hacks that they can do to test, like things that they can't do, like a little like online thing that you can do to like test people that call. So when they ever, because you have those now that call you and go, hi, it's Rachel from blah, 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 blah.
Right.
And you go, and you ask them a question, and they just repeat the same thing over and over again. Or they go, having a hard time hearing. Like, you can tell it's a recording.
I've gotten that having a hard time hearing you. Give me a minute. Yeah, it's a clever bit.
Yeah. While they're waiting to get someone on the line to, close the deal.
Right.
I'm just unsure. I know everyone's talking about, like, in the comments about this is Westworld and all this kind of stuff. It just, I don't think we need to stay the same for the sake of being the same. I'm just unsure of where this leads.
We're giving away too much.
Computers are a lot smarter than we are, and if we give them too much power, they will dominate us.
I mean, I agree. I do. But the thing is, like, I think, because you said this is the tip of the iceberg, I'm like, I feel like the tip of the iceberg was like call centers back in the day. When somebody realized I can pay people to read a script for me. And then somebody else realized, well, I can set up a computer to do it for me, and we can have call trees, and we can put people on hold. Like, this is all a long time coming. You can connect the dots backwards, but you can't do them forwards. Steve Jobs said that, Apple. But, like, this has always been the way it's going to be. It feels inevitable, to drop a line from Smith in The Matrix. But it really does. Like, it feels like at some point we're just going to keep going until we've gone too far and we're too big for our britches. And until we get there, I'm on board. Sign me up. I'll take in one AI, please. Like, I'll do it. It'll be like it'll be like her. It'll be great. So yeah.
Do you get to choose your voice?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. And I don't know. I think they did some other calls, which I'll need to go and find and see if. I'd love to hear what happens when it gets tripped up. Like if someone says something that they doesn't understand.
just hanging.
I am a robot.
Up. Yeah.
I would bet anything is something like, sorry, I didn't catch that. Or yeah, sorry, my phone broke up.
Yeah.
What's up? Like just some kind of simple,
that's what happens when you're using Alexa. It says, sorry, not sure what you mean by that.
Yeah.
And it will repeat it.
It plays it off. Yeah.
Yeah. But honestly, I don't think you can kind of decide, AI is great for like data processing, understanding behavior, all these things. Everything that makes our life easier, we will accept it. But you can't just take what's positive and just completely scrap what's bad, because it comes hand in hand, doesn't it? So it's more like how do we want to play our lives? Is it for the easier part? Well, yeah. Then if you're gonna say, okay, make my life easier, everyone's gonna sign up for that.
Yeah.
Sooner or later.
This is why, Josh, you need to be nice to your Roomba now, because Google's going to find out. It's going to report back and be like, that's Josh character.
Yeah,
he kicks me around every day.
He is a jerk. Before we go, because we got a little bit of a late start, so I want to get this last story in.
We haven't gone an hour
yet. Yeah. We found a story online. Anna, our international correspondent.
Global correspondent, yes.
Yeah. She found the story about this museum in Paris that is offering hours which you can attend. You can walk through the museum with no clothes on. It's a nudist friendly museum.
Is it the Louvre?
No.
Nope.
Not the Louvre.
It's a new museum.
And not the Museum de Orso. Those are the two that I remember from being there. It's it's in French, but basically the Tokyo is it's a museum of Tokyo. Right?
I'll find the name quickly.
So is it just certain hours that,
or
do you have to sign up for this?
Block out. No, I think it's just like everyone kind of knows.
Stroll in.
Like if you have kids, hey, get them out the door.
Go to the museum.
Because you're about to see some stuff.
There's a heaping coat rack in the front for everybody's stuff.
So this goes into the category of why. Why do you have? And so the person who was like, it's always like the creepy person who's like, well, the art is seen better through the lens when you're not restricted by your clothing. No. There's nothing that improves
looking feel
at
free
art.
And can take in the art.
Let me look.
Please.
It's a celebration of the human condition. All right, that's what it is. It's looking at what we are and what we've become in its most bare bones structure, and celebrating art in a way you simply can't experience somewhere else.
You are as much a piece of art as what's on display.
Exactly. We are truly the art, right?
Yeah.
Are we the artist or are we the art? And when you run into other people and you avert your eyes, that's something to consider. Is what does that mean? Why do we feel that way? All right, it's an examination of society in its most bare form.
Sorry, I didn't catch that on camera. Could you do that eye roll again for me?
I wish I had your soundboard in here, because I would have played a sound effect that would have matched my feelings toward. I just feel like this goes back to what Anna told me before. We're talking about this, and it goes, oh yeah, I went to a museum one time where the people were undressed and they were standing in like a little square, and they were the art.
Right.
Yeah, it was an exhibition in London.
Yeah.
And you just had like several pieces of art, and you suddenly stumble upon like this 60-year-old man who's just in the corner holding a tray for nearly an hour.
What if you found out he was not a part of the exhibit?
Oh my god.
He was just some old guy who
That's
walked
what
in
I would have assumed.
To be honest, the area where this exhibition happened, it could have been true. But by the way, if anyone wants to go, has any trip scheduled to Paris, the place is called Palais de Tokyo. So Palace of Tokyo, that's the name of the place.
Listen, I can tell you some places in Dallas to go to find some of that nude art. That's what you're looking for.
I just like why, and one of the takeaways from the exhibit that Anna had were that the ladies that were in the exhibit were quite fit. The gentlemen were not, and she was very disappointed that it was a 60-year-old man against the wall. And her thing was
fair.
She was like, it was very very cold in the room. It's like,
Oh boy, that's a nice way to say
yeah,
that.
just like, oh, poor guy.
Yeah,
So
probably like, would you like a blankie?
that's
The
so sad.
modesty poncho.
Yeah, a modesty
Yeah, modesty
poncho.
would have
poncho,
been
yeah.
A
great.
very long modesty poncho. It's one of those things. I just feel like it's useless, and people can justify nudism all they want. It's fine if that's how you want to live your life. I don't try to make it different than just being like, this is how I choose to live.
Sure.
That's probably fair.
Don't say you can observe art better when you're not restricted by a shirt and a pair of shorts.
I think that's true. But
And on that bombshell,
Yes.
we're going to go. We'll be back on Friday. Again, we're here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 12 until 1. We're on YouTube, Twitter, and on Facebook. You can find us right here. We'd love your comments. We'd love your feedback. If you have any ideas, and if you want to be a guest, we know that on Friday we're going to be celebrating the Lorenzo.
So I was going to mute that.
We're going to be celebrating the Lorenzo having their pool party coming up, and we're going to be having some kolaches and margaritas here in
really?
studio. Yeah,
Oh.
so get ready. Again, that's on Friday here on the lunch
Get ready,
break.
here
Be
we
sure
come.
and come back.